Timeless Tales, a Japanese folk tale, Momotaro, the Peach Boy. Long ago in a village at the edge of the mountains, there lived an old man and an old woman. They had no children, and in their quiet house the days passed gently, one into the next. Each morning the old man went to gather wood in the forest. Each morning the old woman went to wash clothes by the river. They were not unhappy, but they were alone. One day, as the old woman knelt by the water wringing out a robe, she saw something extraordinary, a peach, enormous and perfectly round, tumbling down the current toward her. It was the largest peach she had ever seen, rosy as a dawn sky, and it spun slowly in the water as if it were looking for her. She reached in with both hands and lifted it out, and it was warm, warmer than the river, warmer than the sun on her arms, and heavier than it should have been.
"Husband, come and look at what the river has sent us."
The old man came from the forest, and together they set the peach on the table. And when the old woman drew a knife to cut it open, the peach split itself in two with a sound like a breath, and inside, curled among the warm flesh of the fruit, was a baby boy. He opened his eyes and looked at them both, and smiled.
"We will call him Momotarō, Peach Boy, son of the river."
Momotaro grew quickly. By the time he was tall enough to look his father in the eye, he was already stronger than any young man in the village. He chopped wood that had resisted axes for a season. He lifted stones the men had been trying to move since before he was born, but he was not boastful about it. He was simply glad to be useful, and every evening he sat with his parents and listened to their stories. In those years, the people of the coastal villages lived in fear of the Oni, demons who lived on an island far out to sea. They came in the night, the old stories said, and took whatever they wished, rice and sake, silk and gold, and sometimes people. The island they called Onigashima, the island of demons, and no one who had sailed for it had ever come back to say what they found there.
"I am going to Onigashima. I am going to fight the Oni and bring back what they have taken."
"You cannot go alone. No one returns from that island."
"Then I will be the first. Make me kibidango, mother. Rice dumplings for the road. I will be back before the rice runs out."
The old woman made him the finest kibidango she had ever baked, sweet millet dumplings wrapped in bamboo leaves, enough for the journey and more. The old man sharpened his sword and tied it at his side. And when the sun rose on the morning of his departure, both his parents stood at the gate of the house and watched him go down the road, his pack on his back and his face turned toward the sea. He had not walked far into the forest before he heard a bark behind him. A large dog stood in the path, lean and keen-eyed, with a spotted coat and a tail that did not wag or tremble, but simply waited.
"Where are you going, boy?"
"To Onigashima, to fight the demons."
"Give me one of your kibidango, and I will come with you. I am a good fighter."
"The best in Japan."
He gave the dog a dumpling, and they walked on together. Before long, a monkey dropped from a branch above the paths, chattering and bright-eyed.
"Where are you two going?"
"To Onigashima."
"A kibidango for me too. I am nimble and clever. You will need someone who can get through a gate before the guard turns around."
And so there were three. They walked until the trees thinned and the path came out onto a cliff above the sea. Below them, the water stretched grey and vast to the horizon, and on the wind came a cry, a pheasant wheeling in the air above them, its tail feathers streaming like banners.
"I have been watching the sea for 3 years. I know where Onigashima lies. Give me a dumpling, and I will lead you there."
Momotaro gave the pheasant a dumpling, and now they were 4. They found a boat pulled up on the beach below the cliff, old but sound, and Momotaro took the oars, and the pheasant flew ahead to show the way, and the dog and the monkey settled at the bow and watched the island approach through the mist. Onigashima was a black rock rising from the sea. At its highest point stood a fortress of stone, its gates banded with iron, its walls spiked with the horns of animals no one in the village had ever seen. There was no beach to land on, only rocks and the sound of waves breaking, and somewhere above them the sound of drums.
"Leave the gate to me. I will fly ahead and draw their eyes upward."
The pheasant rose into the sky and flew screaming over the fortress walls, pecking at the eyes of the demon guards. The monkey scrambled up the gate and threw the bolts from inside, and Momotaro came through first, the dog at his side, and the battle of Onigashima began. It was fierce and it was loud, and it went on for a long time. The demons were large and strong and many, but they had never fought someone who was not afraid of them.
Enough, enough. I yield. We yield. What do you want from us?
Return what you have taken. Everything. The rice and silk and gold you have stolen from the villages. Return it, and I will let you remain on your island. But if you raid the coast again, I will come back, and I will not come alone.
The Oni lord, who had never been beat in any fight he could remember, bowed his great horned head and agreed. And Momotaro loaded the boat with everything that had been stolen, more than it looked like the boat could hold, though somehow it held it, and the four of them sailed home across the sea. The pheasant flew ahead to carry the news. When they reached the village, the old man and the old woman were waiting at the shore.
You came back before the rice ran out.
The riches were distributed among the coastal villages that had been raided over the years. The dog, the monkey, and the pheasant each received a share of the treasure and were free to go, but none of them went far. They had found in those few days at sea what the Kibidango had only started, the kind of company that is hard to walk away from. And the Oni, for their part, were never heard from again on the coast. Whether this was because they were defeated, or simply because they had discovered that the sea between their island and the mainland was, after all, not so wide as they had thought, no one ever knew for certain. There is a saying in Japan, even a demon can be tamed by one who is not afraid of it. But Momotaro, when he was very old and a grandfather himself, would tell his grandchildren something slightly different. He would say, "The bravest thing I did was not crossing the sea. It was giving away those dumplings, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to go forward anyway, and the willingness to share the journey with those who ask to join you."